Good morning, and I am so thrilled to be part of the Avini family. Welcome to the team if you're new or just taking a look. Hope we can get you excited about joining us. And we've got just a few openings available, and we're getting ready to go into our big new season, just finishing up the game this month. Here we are. Oh my goodness, August the 31st. Can you believe it's September? I've been doing this a long time, and one of the things I've noticed is it's always a good time to do a Vini, but if you just kind of think about, well, summer vacations, it's having fun with family, but as soon as school starts, it starts getting dark early, and people mentally, they're just ready to settle down and go to work. And I just, my experience has been September onward, all the way through the week of Christmas is just run as fast as you can, and amazing things can happen. So you can just beginning now, you can have an amazing business by the end of the year. And wherever you're at right now, just tell everybody else to do the same thing, and we can compound that and do some amazing things. Well, one of the things that has really made the biggest difference in my whole life is something that I heard, oh, 50 years ago almost. My goodness, I was in my 20s on stage at a big meeting was this guy, and he said something that just I heard later on over and over again. I started repeating it myself, but essentially, where you will be in 5 years is determined by the people you associate with, the books you read, the tapes at that time that you listen to, and essentially that. We do become what we think about. Everybody can agree on that. Well, you can direct your thinking by directing your input, and that is while hanging around the right kind of people, reading the right books, listening to the right things, and oh my goodness, and we do live in a information age right now. There's just so much stuff. Someone might say we live in a disinformation age too. So be very selective what you put into your head. And so I want to talk about the books you read. I set a few out, and this was actually given to me by a friend, The Law of Love. Well, if you think about really what makes the world go round, that's what ultimately life is all about, is who we love and who loves us. And I love being involved in work where it's actually all about relationships. But interestingly, this book is written by Steve Young, the famous quarterback. And I was intrigued by that. And so I'm just going to kick this off with something that I think is really interesting. So here's a guy that has just done a whole lot in terms of success. And maybe just start this off by a really reflective question. What do you want with your life? Here we are at this moment. What do you want to do the rest of your life? What do you want it to be? Well, this is what Steve Young talks about. He says, as times I look back at my life, what is my legacy? What have I accomplished? I've got trophies and rings and all, but what have I done with my life? And I think to myself, the full measure of my life, or anyone's life, is to have a healing intent, seeking to heal others. That's interesting. And he goes on and he just says the foundational principle of life is we're here to learn and grow. My life purpose is to figure out how to best to allow that to happen, learn and grow. And then he says the legacy of my life is seeking to heal others. Oh, that's pretty. Somebody needs to tell me about Avini. If you look at this right here, Avini Health, Advances in Natural Healing. That's what we're about too. Hopefully you've got this book and make it your own. Add your own content to it. And the camera is a mirror image, so it's moving different than how I'm thinking. But get this book. When you sign up and get your kit, you'll have one of those. Well, add stuff to it. It's a 3-ring binder. The newsletters that come in, you can print those and punch holes and add those about the product, learn about our product and all of those other things. But just going back to Steve Young, I like the book so much. I was just looking around on Amazon. And what else has he got? Well, he's got another book about love. That's interesting. But also, he wrote a book, Quarterback. And I have not really been a football person at all. But part of the book on the law of love is he does talk about his stories and how he was lettered in 3 different sports in high school, became really famous in college as a quarterback. And also he talked about how when he got into the professional, a lot of teams were looking for him. He was looking around for all sorts of things, so many offers, so many options. What would you do? And he just thought, I want to be on the best team. Me too. I believe Avini is the best team. But what he felt was the best team to just do the most good and for him to be in an environment of growth and opportunity and be with the best people was at that time the San Francisco 49ers. And when he signed on, the famous Joe Montana was the quarterback. And when he came on, he would be second to that. He would be backup essentially for Joe Montana, knowing that he was quite a bit older than Steve, and eventually he would be taking the reins and be able to start the games and different things like that. And so later on, time went on, and Joe was just doing his very best, setting records. Here's a guy that took his team to the Super Bowl several times, and Steve's getting frustrated, not being able to start the game, being able to play once in a while, and a few things like that. And he was just thinking, did I make a mistake? And so one of my favorite memories in elementary school was when the teacher would get a book out and we would just sit in our desk, close our eyes, and she would read a book. I'm going to try that on you. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But there's when I get books, usually this is just it's a biography. So there's not a lot of things in that. And yet on the other hand, one of the things I think is really fascinating is successful people. They love to read about other successful people. So that's on the top of the list of successful people is biographies of other successful people. And you can learn something. And so I'm going to go to a section right here that I think is just a golden nugget. It certainly was for him. And I've actually heard him refer to this as a turning point in his life in other areas besides this book right here. But here it is, all laid out really clear. And if you think about this, so often, if you look at anybody that's really successful, there is that moment, this aha moment where everything changed, where from one moment you're going one direction or a decision or whatever, and bang, it happened. I love this idea that in your moments of decision, your destiny is shaped. And this is what happened. And a lot of it goes back to this idea where you will be as the people you associate with, the books you read, things like that. And so Steve is really down in the dumps. Yeah, he's a quarterback for the 49ers, but on the other hand, he's playing second. Joe Montana, he's always being eclipsed by that. Everybody's comparing him to Joe Montana, and Joe is so good, and he's just thinking it's not fair. Maybe I should have picked something else. Maybe I should have gone into tennis or something else. And he just happens to be on an airplane, and the seating assignment, the great Stephen Covey is sitting next to him. Well, he's the guy that's the leadership guru, written several books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Steve actually, that was in his library, and they knew each other. And so the conversation, of course, quickly went to football, and then it quickly went to, woe is me, things are tough. And let me start right here with Stephen Covey on this. I felt like a whiner venting all this, but Steve Covey was patient. And then he said, now, Joe, he's still on the team, right? He asked. Yeah, I said, that's part of the problem. I understand, he said, but you get to ask him questions, right? In other words, he'll mentor you. Well, yeah, I said. And the 49ers, they're one of the better organizations in the football, the gold standard, I said. And Mike Holmgren, he's a really good quarterback coach. Well, Steve said he's the best, the absolute best, the best in the league. And then he paused a moment, and this is what he said to Steve. He says, I think you may be looking at your situation the wrong way, he said. What do you mean? He explained that he traveled the world in search of organizations that created opportunities for employees to become the best. I gotta be honest with you, Steve. He said, I don't know that I've seen an organization better than this one. Well, I was intrigued. He said, and he goes on like this. He says, I understand your situation with the 49ers correctly. He continued, you are in the one place in the NFL where you can find out just how good you can be. Well, now he really had my attention. And Steve continues. He says, there's just a few people in the world who get to find out how good they are at one thing. They're stuck somewhere in life where they don't have the opportunity or the platform to find out. Oh, goodness. So here's the question. He said, do you want to find out how good you are? Yeah, I do. I mean, some people are just afraid to find out, he said. No, no, absolutely. I want to find out. Well, then go do it. Good luck. Wow, go do it. Good luck. What a moment to have that, with that rewire everything in your mind. And so he hung in there and eventually became the starting quarterback. So here's a really cool thing, a wonderful environment if you want to be a quarterback, the perfect environment. He looked for the right place and he found the right place. Well, what does it take to be really good in that game? What's it all about? Well, one of the things in reading this book, and if you look at the game at all, it doesn't, one day you wake up and you're the Super Bowl winner, or you won a particular game for that matter. There's a lot to this. And one of the things that hit me is you want to have a platform, but then you need to be able to do really well and perform within that platform. Well, what do quarterbacks do? Well, one of the things I think is really interesting is there's only one quarterback on the field at any one time. In the Avini game, everybody can be a quarterback. Isn't that really cool? And everybody can be a coach as well at the same time. And we really don't have an opposing team other than our own mental weird things. And if you're a quarterback on the team, you've got people out there that actually want to take you out. They actually want to hurt you so that you're no longer in the game, because the quarterback can make such a huge difference in winning and losing, and the opposing team knows that, and so they might hit you a little harder. They might actually hit you after the touchdown's made accidentally, and it's rough. I think about the things to learn, and knowing that you get into that pocket, you're ready to go, and there's all of these moves. It's been said that the playbook, it's about like a dictionary, and you've got to have it memorized, and not just have it memorized that you did this and this, but actually have it in your mind where that goes into the motion of things. It's muscle and brain memory, and not only having it memorized, but be just little trifles change a little bit, and you've got to be able to react, and all this stuff going on at the same time. It's been described as playing a musical instrument that is conspiring against you. It just and just split seconds, everything is out there. But I can't just say enough. You can get injured doing this. I think, okay, I'm playing Avini football, playing Avini. I'm in the game. I pick up the phone. Is there anybody out to get me? I've done this for a lot of years. I've talked to lots of people, and the worst thing that's happened is no thank you. That's just about it. Oh, maybe a little rougher thinking I don't like network marketing or whatever, but I've actually never had anybody say, I don't like you and I hope you lose and blah, blah, blah. It's just a pretty easy, but it is a head game, nevertheless, and that's where we're at. And I think in my mind, why is it so scary? And I think, okay, teams, one of the things I think is really fascinating is we can't help ourselves. We want to belong to a team. Human beings cannot survive by themselves. And so deep inside our instincts is probably the worst thing that could happen is to be ostracized. In culture and civilization, that was the worst thing you could do to somebody, is cut them off. And that was almost a death sentence, especially in earlier eras. And so I guess that might be it, is we call somebody and we might be ostracized. So we just got to mentally play through that. When we call people, we're not going to risk death. It's okay. Just play it in our minds. But I think that's one of the most important things. But I just want to share a couple of other ideas here. Here's a book I really like, The Ultimate Success Formula. And it's actually out of print, but there's a whole bunch of them left on Amazon. And what's the playbook on this? This you could say is the playbook. And people that are really good in being a quarterback, they actually have that thing memorized forwards and backwards. It's part of them. And I've heard it said that leaders are readers, and that leaders necessarily don't read the most books, but they read the best books the most. And so you could be thinking in your mind, a favorite thought is, what if you read 100 books? That would be invaluable. But what if you read 10 books, 10 of the very best books, and you read each of them 10 times? And so you could make it yours, really internalize it. And as we're learning, that repetition and reinforcement are the parents of skill. Is being a quarterback a skill? Well, certainly. Is being a diamond in Avini a skill? It really is. And it's just a practice skill and learning the basics. I love that story. And you maybe have seen things where Vince Lombardi, the great coach, starting every season, the basics. And so he'd have this seasoned professional group of great people, the team, and to start the basics and to emphasize that, he'd hold up and he'd say, gentlemen, this is a football. And he'd go through all the basics all over again, mastering those basics. And in this book, here's the basics that he talks about is define your dream. What do you really want? You have to have a dream. There has to be a reason. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. And the more desires you have, the better. And of course, you want to have more desires than you have resistance to do something. You got to have enough reasons to overcome the inertia of procrastination or fear or whatever it is. So just really define your dream. What do you want? Well, the next thing he talks about is get a vehicle. And that's the thing I really get excited about when I look at Avini is I've searched far and wide. This has been my career, my profession. I've given my heart to 8 different companies over 48 years and not even thinking of retiring. My body, my brain, my mind, as far as playing in this area of, I'm at my peak. And I love that. I love just thinking right now, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm in my A game and I'm with my very favorite team, and we're in a growth environment, got the very best products. Everything is in place. And here we are. And all I've got to do is think of some reasons. I've got the right vehicle, and you do too. The more you look at this, think about this. And when you share this with people, there's a lot of companies out there. And the typical company is, of course, you need to have some type of product, but typically the people that start that company, they're thinking, well, we need a product. We want it to be unique. We want a story behind it, maybe some root or berry that has magic properties that's not already out there. And who can we get this that has a story behind it? Okay, we've got this scientist or whoever, and they've developed it. Ideally, you want it to be exclusive. Nobody else has got it. And then you go to a manufacturer and have it made, and you have somebody else distribute it and do the fulfillment and everything, and off you go. And hopefully it'll work. Most of the time, it actually doesn't. The opportunity of a lifetime is only as good as the lifetime of the opportunity. But been there, done that. and that's not really fun at all to give your heart to something and have it fall apart. What I love about Avini is we've got the very best scientist. You know, he's not only a category creator, but he's got charisma and he's passionate about it. And he's the best spokesman for that product. And we have access to him with just our phone or our computer. And we can share his story and his vision and his product information with anybody we want. Now, he has his own laboratory, his own manufacturing. He's partnered with Neil Roth. So Neil, he goes back in his early 30s. He distinguished himself as a senior executive in billion-dollar companies. Was the top of the game, running billion-dollar companies with thousands of branches. And then he got into network marketing, became a triple diamond of that. Very, very smart guy. And he's the CEO of this company. So he's been down the road before. In the field, we've got field leaders who have created billion-dollar sales organizations. So all of the areas that matter, we've got the best. And think about Rick Deitch. Here's this scientist. For 25 years, he's been inventing products, taking them to market. The only thing new is this is his first time as an owner. Most of the time, it was licensing or being a vendor for other people, but to the tunes of billions of dollars. And so every one of our Avini products essentially have already been tested in the marketplace, and they've done really well. So we've got this unique novelty of a 2-year-old company that's just getting ready to go into growth, but we know where we're going because everybody had a few rodeos before. This is not new to us. Isn't that amazing? And everybody you talk to, this amazing story, these amazing products, it's all new to them. In fact, something so basic as you say zeolite, I found probably 80% of the people have never heard of that. But then you start researching it, it's all over the place. And then getting deeper into that, clinoptilolite, we get to learn new words, clinoptilolite, micronized, activated, and we're the ones that created that market. And so, wow, everything else is an imitation. And those things cost quite a bit, but we've got a really awesome pay plan. We've got the original people, and oh my goodness, the world is crying for what we've got. And so I would say get into the game and decide you want to do this. So here we go. We've got the right vehicle. You have a desire, you have a dream. He says, make a plan of action. Right before that, I've added one myself, and I think this is invaluable, is find a mentor. I think one of the big keys is decide what you want, be willing to pay the price, go to work, but have a mentor help you do the right work. It matters what you say and do. And if you can find somebody that says and does the right stuff and has already proven themselves, the key to success is just do the very same things of somebody that, if you look at somebody and they're a diamond and you say, I want to be a diamond, what does a diamond do? Well, learn what they do, learn what they say and do the same things, and then it becomes a certainty. And the more you do that, the more you're corresponding to the same things that they're doing that took them to where they are. And so the only difference between you and a diamond, if you're brand new, is time and effort. Doing those same things over time, then it's not one particular phone call that makes the difference. It's talking to people again and again and again, where all of a sudden the magic of numbers, it becomes inevitable. It becomes a certainty that you will be a diamond. I love that question that at first is humorous, but it's so profound, is how long does it take the average person to go diamond? Answer, well, the average person will never go diamond. Don't be average. Don't game it. Don't look at this as, wow, what's the least I need to do and how long is it going to take? Just say, I'm going to talk to lots of people, and over time, I will not be denied. Okay, so that's the plan of action. Have the plan of action and have it a daily agenda. When it's a daily thing, and essentially it's just talking to people. And then the next step on this is just take all out massive action. Just do it and do it. Run as fast as you can. Going back to Stephen Covey, his question, you want to see how good you can be. You want to be the very best. You're in the right environment. You have the right platform, and you've got the right people to teach you. All it is go do it. And he did it. And wow, the rest is history. He's done it. Now in Avini, we can keep doing it and doing it. And the thrill, the legacy that we can leave. And I think that's one of the most important things is, imagine being able to do a touchdown. And I believe like the Olympics and stuff, those people that are winning, they all had coaches, and those coaches, they were former Olympians, and they've got the thrill of passing their knowledge on, leaving a legacy of helping other people do what they learned to do. And they probably had a coach as well, you think. And wow. So we can go out and make a touchdown as an example to our team, and then show them how to do the same thing. It's just, it's getting excited. One more book. Okay, this is John Maxwell. He's written a whole lot of books. He's a great guy. John Maxwell Leadership Podcast. I get those and listen to them. But this book here, of all the lots of books he's got, this is a pretty unique one. He fell in love with network marketing himself. He goes and speaks before lots of organizations, but he openly states that his favorite organizations are network marketing because of just that unique platform where it's a level field. Everybody can be on the game and everybody can be a quarterback. Everybody can score as many touchdowns as you want. And there's no opposing team except us. We've met the opposing team, and it's just ourselves, our own inhibitions and lackadaisical or wing it or a fear or getting around to it. It's us. That's the only opposing thing that we'll have is ourselves. And maybe our brother-in-law might say, what makes you think you can be successful in this? Well, don't follow that person unless you want to have the results that they're getting. So I suggest just immerse yourself with the right kind of people. But in this book, one of the things that there's a lot of good stuff, but I think one of the takeaways in this is he decided to take this idea of getting the 20 best, looking around the whole industry. And if you look at network marketing, it goes back, what, 70 years perhaps, close to that. Over that period of time, countless people have become very wealthy in this business, lots of them. And I think it's really interesting is John went to 20 of the best people, just the leaders in this, and says, what does it take to be successful? What does it take? What do you do? What do you teach other people? And that's what this is, a distillation of all of that. Wow. But also there's some gems in this talking about platform. And I'm just going to share something because in all of the, excuse me, of all of the years I've done this, I've had a chance to be in my A game. And there's nothing more thrilling than to be with a group and we're in growth and things are just exploding and going from pretty much nothing to doing $1 billion a year, being in all these different countries, and it's your team. Oh, goodness, there's nothing like that. On the other hand, let me put a parallel here. I think one of the most heartbreaking things is, and one of the most wonderful things is the gift of health. And so one of the most heartbreaking things is to have someone that you love, someone that you care about, watching them deteriorate before your eyes. That's hard. And one of the most satisfying things is being in Avini and actually seeing that turn around where somebody's circling the drain. And oh, it's just so fun. It's fun to help people win. It's fun to help people get better and feel good. The pay in this business is amazing, but also that would transfer into organizations. One of the most heartbreaking things for me was to see a $1 billion company wither away. And this really touched me. So here's John Maxwell. And there's a lot of people here that say the same thing. He says, I experienced a significant challenge with the first organization I joined. They weren't growing. The people were content with being average and the organization was average. But I didn't want to be average. Birds of a feather flock together and I wasn't flocking. So I finally decided to leave my stagnant environment and go to a growing one. How did I know I was upgrading my choice? I was growing. I found people who desired to grow themselves like I did. Oh, happy day. That's what he talked about. I just want to say I'm an Avini and oh, happy day. Oh, goodness. There's just a quick, powerful sentence right here. I quickly discovered that growth is the great separator between those who succeed and those who do not. Growth. That's what this is all about. That's why you should read these kind of books. Everyday practice. If you're going to be a quarterback, do they have practice? Do they keep that playbook rehearsed and memorized? Do they watch films of other people so they know what their playbooks is and all that sort of thing? So I'm just going to go to the end right here. And so like the power of five. What's power of five? If that's the title of the book, it must be important. And so concluding, he's just going to review. These 5 things matter to you, to your business, and to others. Here's the power. Grow every day grow because growth matters. Every day connect because connection matters. Wow. Have a list, add to it, call people every day. Okay, here's the thing. Think successfully because mindset matters. Thinking makes it so. Lead, because leadership matters. How do you lead? I would say by example. And if you do what leaders do, then you are a leader. John Maxwell, in some other places, he talks about if you think you're a leader and you look behind and nobody's following, you're really not a leader. You're just out taking a walk. And what you want to do is talk to people and get them involved in your thing. And how that happens at number 5 is add value. That's what we're all about in Avini, is we're adding value to other people. And so going back to that book that I kicked off with, Steve Young, all of his accomplishments, all of his recognition, his trophies, his big rings, and all of that sort of thing, his notoriety, what matters, what his legacy is to heal other people. That's pretty exciting. And I believe if someone were to recruit him, he would be a diamond really fast, because when you recruit somebody, you don't just recruit them, you recruit their influence, who they are, what they are. And any one of us, and I love sharing this with people that have been around a while, because all of those people, they know other people, and those people know people. And so when you bring somebody in, amazing possibilities can happen. We all have some people equity. And so what I would do is just totally believe that what we have is right and it's good, and that everybody that you know needs to know about that. They deserve to know about Avini. And so just talk to everybody. Don't prejudge. Don't think, oh, this person, I don't think they'll be interested, or, oh, goodness, it's too late for them, or whatever. Just talk to everybody. Just some final thoughts. Have this, get it printed. This is part of our playbook, and just learn it. Right at first, it looks pretty busy, but essentially the difference between a silver and a diamond is just more of the same. Fundamentally, our playbook is we're finding people that are interested in health, that would be interested in these products. And so when we share what Avini is, some of them won't be interested. That's okay. But some of them will want to be customers, and the more customers, the better. And we're looking for people that would like to be partners, to become distributors. And then the rest of your career is just teaching other people to do the same thing. It's such a powerful thing when you look at the timing is right. It's perfect. The market, millions of people out there. Intents and purposes, we have an immeasurable market. Can you think of a more exciting, more life-changing product to represent? I really believe, what if everyone were using these products? What I've seen happen one by one, the people use these products, they're transformative. I believe if everyone were using these products, we would not have a health crisis. It's that big a deal. So we can make a difference. Just so exciting about all of the things that we have right here. Oh my goodness, I think we ought to go for it.